Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday, guys. What is happening? All right, friends, we are going to give it a few minutes like we always do. Let people get on board here. Oh, God, I'm ruining my desk. All right, so guys, what is up? Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. As always, I use a streaming service so I can stream to the Six Figure Stylist Facebook group and to YouTube at the same time. So if you guys are watching on Facebook and you would like to interact at all throughout the live, contour is not really blended in, just click that link in the caption up top. That just allows my streaming service to be able to see your name, since we are streaming in a private group. And if you are on YouTube and you want to come hang out with us in the Six Figure Stylist Facebook group, I would love to see you there. And so just check back after the live is over and I will post the link to join in the description box. So if you're Facebook, check out caption box. YouTube, check out description box. All right, so still a couple of minutes before 6, but see, we got some people rolling in. This seemed to be a pretty popular topic. I kind of put out feelers in the Six Figure group to see how people felt about getting noticed by brands, if that's something that you guys are interested in. And it seemed like a lot of people are interested in working closely with professional hair care brands. So I figured we could talk about the things that I did to get noticed by the brands that I am currently working with. So let's give it just like one more minute. Ooh, a bunch of people hopped on. Hello, friends. If you guys are watching live, leave a comment so I can see who's here. Drop an emoji, whatever. If you're watching on replay, you can let me know that you watched on replay, because I like to see who comes to hang out. It's a fun time. Hey, Facebook user, I can't see who you are. So if you want to click the link in the caption box, that will allow my streaming service to see your name. Hello. If you're uncomfortable with that, you just are going to have to like comment your name or something. We'll figure out who you are. I can always go back and see after. So before we dive into it, I do want to let you guys know all the courses on hairbykate.com are still 30% off with promo code COVID. I think mostly everyone is kind of heading back to work, so that promotion is going to be wrapping up shortly. I just wanted it to be active to let people have an opportunity to educate themselves while they were at home and not in work. So now that we are finally able to go back to the salons, that will be wrapping up. There's no set end date, but I'm thinking like next week or two tops. So check out hairbykate.com and use the promo code COVID if you want to save 30% across the board. Hey, Casey, thanks for hanging out, babe. What's going on? So tonight we're going to talk about 3 main things that I did that got the attention of the brands that I wanted to work with. First and foremost being Pulp Riot, and second being Olaplex. So they both have, and I feel like most hair companies have some kind of like team or squad or advocates or ambassadors or something like that. Some like official thing that they call their dedicated users. So I can't speak for all the brands, obviously, but I know Pulp Riot has their Riot Squad. Olaplex has their Olaplex Advocates team. So I am a member of the Pulp Riot Squad. I am not an official Olaplex advocate, but I've been asked to do education in their Facebook group 4 times now. So if you, little selfless plug here, I'm doing education in the Olaplex users Facebook group Friday. So if you guys want to come check that out, I'm going to be doing some really cool vibrant techniques. I know we're getting off topic there. But I will be there if you want to come hang out. So those are my 2 main things that I use in the salon. So those were the ones that I really had my sights set on. And one of my goals is still to be like an official Olaplex advocate. So hopefully that will be in my not so distant future, but so keep your fingers crossed for me. Hey guys that are rolling in, love Olaplex. Hadn't gotten to use Pulp yet. Yeah, man, Pulp is amazing. Olaplex obviously is too. Pulp has wonderful vibrance for sure, but then an awesome permanent line as well. So super user-friendly for everyone. Hey, Facebook user, I can't see your name, but I'm still just as glad you're here. So I have been working on working with Pulp Riot like since they came out. Their brand has been out for about 3 years now. So as soon as I saw them, I was like, holy Lord, I need to work with this brand. They are so my vibe. And I just immediately fell in love with them. So I've been working towards that goal really, really hard. Like I was so super dedicated. I did absolutely everything I could think of. And about a month ago, I finally got this in the mail. It came to my house. So I actually went and got this from my salon because I just wanted to show you guys. So this is what Pulp does when you become, when they ask you to become part of their Riot Squad. They send you this little box. Super cute. There's a little present inside. I'm not going to tell you guys what, just in case you guys are working towards becoming Riot Squad. I don't want to ruin that for you. So that finally happened. And I think about, I don't know when the first time Olaplex asked me to educate in their Facebook group. But sometime in the past year, they asked me to do a live education video. So I did that. They said it was one of the most viewed live education events that they had. So they asked me to do one again, and that was super successful. And then I did another one over quarantine, and then they asked me to do another one. So I love having that relationship with them. They're my two main brands, Pulp and Olaplex. So yeah, enough about me. This is not like a humble brag live video. I just wanted to give you guys some backstory so you felt that I had a little credibility. So this is what I did to get the attention of these brands. Facebook user, there's a link in the little caption box. So there's like the video title and me just blah, blah, blah talking. And then it says something about StreamYard needs your permission to join or to show your name. I'm sorry. So if you just click that, it just directs you to a page that lets you give your permission, and then your name should show. Hey, Dana, I'm so excited that you're here. Thanks for hanging out. So the first thing that I did, and this is probably the biggest one, because there's no excuse for you not to be able to do that. And that's just to engage. There are so many different platforms and opportunities for you to engage in and interact with whatever brand you choose, whether it's Olaplex, Pulp, or I know a lot of people said Amika, Verb, I forget, but every company that you're going to want to work with has a social media presence, absolutely everyone. So the first thing that you'll need to do is start interacting with them on their social media platforms. So whether that be Instagram, Facebook groups is a huge one. I feel like Instagram, you can kind of get a little lost because it's open to like the entire world. So even people that are not stylists can be commenting on Instagram. I still would engage on Instagram, but if you can find a Facebook group for your dedicated brand, like I know Pulp Riot has one that's called Pulp Riot Artist Official, and that is a super welcoming, interactive group. The people there are amazing. So if you want to work with Pulp, I would definitely recommend you join that group. Olaplex also has one that's really, really friendly and just a ton of engagement. Just you can interact with anyone from all over the world. And it's also a great place to get advice if you are using these brands in your salon and you ever get stuck. This is where I will normally go if I have a question or if I just need to kind of bounce ideas. So Facebook groups are a huge place to get your name out there. Show up regularly in these groups, share your work, answer people's questions, and they'll start to notice you because they'll see you engaging and interacting so much. Emily said the Pulp Riot group is called Pulp Riot Artists, and in parentheses it says official, just to let you know that that is the official Pulp Riot group. So I forgot what I was talking about. So through engaging in groups is how I got started with Olaplex. So I started, every time I would post a photo on Instagram, I don't have my phone with me right here. I was going to show you guys. So I make my post on Instagram. I copy and copy and paste my caption, my formula, whatever I've typed out on Instagram, everything except the hashtags, I copy it. And then I immediately repost it to my personal Facebook page. I post it in the Pulp Riot group because I'm always using their color. And I post it in the Olaplex users group because I use Olaplex in like absolutely everything I do. So I started doing that. And then I also started just hanging out in the groups a lot. And I do think you need to have some separation from like social media, like don't be on it all the time. But if you're going to be on it, why not be in a group that's going to give you all this creative inspo and wonderful ideas and form these wonderful bonds with people who are artists like yourself? So I started just hanging out in the groups, scrolling through them. If people had questions that I knew the answers to, I would definitely answer their questions and just try to help out where I could. I even just go through, and it sounds like I'm a robot sometimes because I'll just scroll through and I'll be like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Scroll, whoa, this is so gorgeous. Like, oh my God, this is heckin' amazing. Like, and I just keep going through, but it's genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I'm saying to engage and try to get to know the community, you want to be authentic with it too. So just make sure that you're coming from like a true place and you're not just like kind of spamming too, because I think you can, even over social media, I think you can tell the difference between authenticity and someone who's being disingenuous. So just my biggest thing, hang out in their groups on their platforms and make sure that you are doing the work to put yourself out there. Number two, kind of a little side note on number one here. And I was very hesitant about saying this because I didn't want people to start getting spammed. So take this with a grain of salt and don't be like a stalker. But I took the time to find out who was in charge of the brands that I wanted to work with and who were their higher ups. For any brand that I want to work with, I kind of do that. And even like the big, like modern salon, beauty launch pads, stuff like that, I kind of figure out who their editors are and stuff like that and get a little more behind the scenes and on a personal level. And then I try to interact with their founders or their, like I said, their editors or whatever. Now, don't be crazy though. Like, I do not want this coming back to me and then being like, well, Kate said I should find you and talk to you. Like, don't be crazy. Still just be genuine. But if you can find out the faces behind the company, those are the people who are sending out the Riot Squad boxes. You know, those are the people that are inviting you to educate in their groups. So if you can make a connection with those people, a genuine, non-creepy connection, I think that helps too. But don't be creepy, please. Or if you do be creepy, don't say that I told you to do it, because I'm saying right now, do not be creepy. So moving on to number two, and this piggybacks off of interacting in the Facebook groups and offering your advice and helping out where you can, is I think a lot of brands appreciate when you kind of take on the task of educating yourself. So I know not everyone in our industry wants to be educators, and that is totally fine. I think a lot of brands offer opportunities to people that don't want to educate. For example, when I got the Riot Squad box and I was filling out my little information card after, it asked me if I wanted to educate. And of course, you guys know I love educating. So I was like, heck yeah, check that thing. But if you don't want to educate, I don't think that means that these brands will not want to work with you. I think there are still tons of opportunities to work closely with these brands. But if education is something that interests you, go ahead and do it. Like, figure out a way to start spreading the knowledge about their brand. So I started doing independent education classes. It was November of 2017, I believe. So that was my very first class, and it was super small. I think I charged like $30 for a ticket. Like 3 people came, and it was in like my hometown salon in North Carolina. I went back to North Carolina to do the class. So it was very, very low key. And then I've just been building and growing and becoming more comfortable from there. But I think if you take that initiative upon yourself to go ahead and start educating, it shows the brand like, okay, this girl is serious. She obviously loves our brand and obviously knows a little bit about it. Here's another like disclaimer, like, please know what you're talking about though. Like, do your background research, make sure that you are teaching in the correct way. So don't spread false information, you know? But yeah, just get out there and start teaching. If that's something that you want to do, you don't have to wait for the brand to give you the okay anymore. I know you used to have to like, I think, I don't want to name other brand names, but I know a brand that I used to use, you had to like apply and then pay like, I think it was like $2,000 to take their special certification thing. And then you had to wait for that brand to choose where they were going to send you. And it's totally not like that anymore. Well, I don't know about that brand, but for the industry as a whole, it's not like that anymore. You can hop on a live, you can make a YouTube video, you can just set something up with your local salon centric. They'll let you teach. And if they have a classroom, they'll let you teach in there. You don't have to do anything special. So the doors for independent education are wide open. So if that's something that you want to teach, or if that's one of your goals, if you want to start teaching, go ahead and teach about your favorite brands. You do not normally have to wait for them to give you the okay. The only thing that I did before I was official Riot Squad is I would not use any brand logos. For example, I wouldn't put the Pulp Riot logo on any of my flyers or anything, just so people were not confused. So they would know, like, this is me teaching you about Pulp Riot, but this is not a Pulp Riot sponsored class. Does that make sense? So I would do these independent classes and I would just put the whole thing on myself. I would find my own host salons. I would choose where I wanted to go. So it was a wonderful opportunity to travel as well before this pandemic like shut everything down. So I'd find my own host salons. I would set up ticket sales myself. I would do all of my class promotions, like making all of my class graphics and flyers, and I would just put the whole thing together. But then it was pretty cool too, because I got to keep all of the money. So it wasn't like, I don't know how brands do it now, if they set up classes, if they just pay you a certain amount or if it's comes out of ticket sales or whatever. But whatever I made in the ticket sales is what I would keep. So that was really cool. So I just love independent education, and I'm like going off on a little tangent here about it. But if you guys are interested in independent education, I actually have a course on hairbykate.com. It's called Planning Indie Education. I think that one is normally like $15, but like I said, if you use the promo code COVID, you can save 30% right now. So I think it's like $12 or something, but it is a 7-part video course that shows you like, this is what I do. So it shows you all the websites of like how I set things up and how I find my host salons and how I promote and all of that good stuff. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure you check that out, because I think that really gave me a leg up in with Pulp for sure, is them seeing me indie educate. Let us check out these. Don't be a creep. Can I go back and say that one more time? Do not be a creep. Facebook user asked, what do you charge for your classes now? It depends on where I'm going normally and how many seats are available in the class. On average, it's normally about $150 a ticket for a 4-hour class. And that's if there are like 20 or more seats available. So I kind of play around with that. If someone only has like a super small salon, like a 10-chair salon or something, I may need to adjust the ticket sales to make sure that I'm making enough to cover, because another thing with independent education is you are paying for your costs out of pocket. So I bring all my own color, I buy my own plane tickets, I pay for my own hotel, and they are business write-offs, but you are still paying for them. So you have to make sure that you're charging enough for your time and for all of your costs. So mine typically are like $150, but if I'm doing something where I don't have to fly, or if I'm doing something local, I'll even drop it down to like $60 or something, just because I don't have to pay for the hotel or the flight or anything like that. And Ryan said she made it. Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for hanging out. So let's move on down. Number 3, this is my last one. So if you guys have questions and you want to get those in, go ahead and type those out if there is anything that I went over too fast or anything like that, and I can go back and answer those after we go over number 3. So number 3 is a little bit tricky because of coronavirus, but you gotta put in the effort to show up at events. Like, you just have to. Normally, there are 8 billion hair events going on. So for Pulp Riot, when before all of this happened, before I got Riot Squad, and I mean, even after now that I'm like officially on the squad, I'm still going to continue to go to all of their events and stuff, obviously. But I was borderline creep. Okay. Like, here's being creepy, and here is me. Like, I was right there. I made sure to go and do absolutely everything that I could do. So I had bought a ticket for, they were going to do 20 different like tour dates this year that I thought was really cool. So I bought a ticket for one in Atlanta, and I bought a ticket for one in Fort Lauderdale. I'm really close to Fort Lauderdale, so that would have been like my home one. But then I also went to one that was further away from me, just so I could keep showing up and making those connections with people and strengthening those relationships. I was not going to let them forget about me. So, and then I was also debating on if I should go up to Boston, and there was a couple other ones too that were further away from me. But I was like, if this is really what I want, and I did really want to get to have this relationship with Pulp, so I was going to do what I had to do to go and to make that happen. My hair is like too big for the screen right now. And aside from just showing up at events, if you guys have ever gone to any kind of hair show, Pulp, Olaplex, whatever, they always need models or just help. So last year I went to the Premier Orlando hair show to help out with Pulp. So I knew I wanted to be able to get in backstage and just see the inner workings and see all of the behind the scenes stuff. So I found out who was going to be educating at Premier through the Pulp Riot Facebook group. So that's why it's so essential that you guys are in these Facebook groups. I found out a lot of the stylists that were going to be educating on stage and on platform and stuff like that. And then I just started reaching out to them, and I was like, hey, do you need a model? Do you need help? What can I do? How can I be involved? So I modeled for the Premier Orlando show last summer. And then that actually got me in because I was a model. I was able to get in the day before when they were setting everything up. So that's when I actually met a lot of the people that put all of the things together. So I think that was very, very important. And then for the Atlanta show, I was a model for that. So then again, that got me like into like all the behind the scenes stuff so I could see just everything happening. And there's seriously nothing like the feeling of being like backstage before one of these hair events. It's just so like amazing. So if you've never modeled for a hair show or assisted or anything, I definitely recommend that you like add that to your bucket list because it's really cool. So I modeled for that. And then I was going to assist for the Fort Lauderdale show, but unfortunately that one got canceled. So hopefully we'll see some of those get rescheduled next year. I'm like hoping that they work something out. And also I was planning on going to the Premiere Orlando show. So Pulp Riot was not planning on doing any big hair shows this year, like ABS and Premiere, stuff like that, because they were just going to do their own road show, but Olaplex was going to be there. So I was like, well, at the very least, I will go and I will hang out with the Olaplex people. And hair shows are super fun. And I'm not saying to not enjoy yourself, but if getting noticed by these brands and working with these brands and companies is high on your priority list, I would just hang tight around their booth because they always need help. Like those events, something always goes wrong. They always just need extra hands. So at the premiere show on the day, it's like a 3-day event. I wasn't modeling until the 3rd day. So on the 2nd day, I just hung out at the Pulp booth. And then I asked one of the girls that was kind of in charge of everything. I was like, hey, I've got all day. I'm totally open. What do you need help with? And I ended up hopping like behind their little booth and helping them sell. I can't speak anymore. I started helping them sell things because I think they were short on people and they were just getting like swarmed. So there's always something for you to help do. So I think just putting yourself out there and offering your help and assistance and showing that you genuinely care about the brand and want to be involved speaks absolute wonders to them. So those are my big 3. So make sure you're engaging on social media. If you are interested in educating, don't wait for them to tell you it's okay to educate. Go ahead and start educating as an independent educator. And like I said, if you want the step-by-step video walkthrough on how I set up my classes, check out hairbykate.com. All the courses are 30% off with promo code COVID, and that is only going to last for about another week, maybe 2 tops. And number 3 is to show your face at events whenever events can happen again. So let's pop over here. If you guys do have any final questions, let me know. Emily's commenting on my cat. I think I just saw him run back by somewhere. I don't even know where he went. It's like right at his dinner time. So he's just always like furious with me when I'm talking to you guys and not feeding him. Facebook user says the Pulp Riot show is called the 20 and 20 Roadshow. It was 20 tour dates in 2020. Would have been last weekend. That's such a bummer. My the ones that I was gonna go to, the Fort Lauderdale one that got canceled was a sad weekend not being able to go. And I think the Atlanta one I think was only the second one that they did. So I did feel very fortunate to be able to go to at least one. And then I really hope they'll reschedule. I do too. So I'm sure Pulp is always coming out with something like bigger and better. So I'm sure even if they can't reschedule, something awesome is going to come our way. All right, guys. So that's all I had for you. I hope this helped. It is just a matter of being consistent, showing up, not getting discouraged. I know that there were definite days where I was like waiting and hoping that I would get the Riot Squad box and I would see a FedEx truck go by and I would be like a dog at a window, like, oh my God, are they coming? Is that for me? And then it didn't happen. And it's kind of hard not to get discouraged, but you just have to know that you are an amazing artist, whether brands have recognized you or not. So that's one other thing I didn't even think to touch on, but working with brands is totally, totally cool, but it does not make or break you as a stylist either. So just know that it is like, it's awesome, but it doesn't define you as an artist either, 100%. So don't get discouraged. Just stay consistent, keep building those relationships, and you guys are going to do wonderful, wonderful things. Ryan says, I'm so bummed I couldn't go to any of them. Gotta get, yeah, just show up. And yeah, it's kind of hard to be, for me at least, it's kind of hard to be like a confident, outgoing person all the time. But yeah, if you go to these events, make sure that you are figuring out who's who and at least like introducing yourself. Maybe even for the first couple of times, because like I said, there's so many things happening at these events. They may take more than one time to remember you, but yeah, just keep putting yourself out there, keep showing up. Thanks so much for watching, Facebook user. I'm glad we were able to hang out. Dana says, great info, babe. The real genuine relationships, connections is the most important part. I agree with you 100%. And that's another thing that comes from spending all this time building the relationships. Because if you go into it with a goal in mind of, I want to work with brands, which is how I started in the Pulp Riot group. I just knew I wanted to work with this brand, so I was going to keep showing up. But the friends that I've made, and Olaplex as well, in the Olaplex users group, I've made really good friends, just like internet friends. And then the glorious thing after that is you make these wonderful relationships and build these friendships through Facebook groups and Instagram. And then you go to these events where you actually get to meet these people that you talk to on Facebook like every day. And it's just such a wonderful feeling. My boyfriend the other night, I was talking about I forget who it was exactly. It doesn't matter. But I was talking about a girl that does hair that lives up in New York. And I was like, yeah, so my friend that I met through the Facebook group and blah, blah, blah. I told my story and he was like, you don't have any real friends, do you? And I was like, they are my real friends. Just because they're friends on Facebook does not make them less real friends. They're your real friends. Yeah, Jessica, I feel you, girl. There was serious times when I was like waiting, and I'm sure like my boyfriend was so happy when I finally got the Riot Squad box, because he was like, oh my God, I don't have to hear you whine about not having it anymore. And then he said, I'm really excited to see what you do with all of your time that you're not pining over getting the box. So I have a lot of my mental capacity went towards what can I do to get noticed. But I do think it is super important just to remember that. And especially you, Jessica, like you do freaking amazing work. So you're an awesome artist and it's coming, girl. Just stay consistent. You're killing it out there. Casey said, thanks for sharing the wealth and wisdom anytime, babe. Thanks for hanging out with me. Keep your head high. Wonderful advice. Yeah, so you guys are amazing. I love you guys. And thank you for hanging out. As always, if you have any questions, or if there's something that I didn't explain well, or you just want to dive in deeper, or if you're just feeling like discouraged and you just want to talk to me, my DMs are always open. If there is anything you want to talk about in future lives, I'm always open to suggestions. So definitely reach out and let me know if there's something that you guys feel like you want to chat about, because we'll chat about it. All right, guys. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I can't wait. And if you need anything before, you know where to